where I think the industry is going is where advisory and tech clash, right? So it's that convenience. It's Uber, it's Lyft, it's DoorDash, it's Uber Eats. Accounting can really intersect in that way where we're bringing technology to small business owners, right? Being the subject matter experts in that said technology and advising them based on the technology in how to run their business more effectively.
This episode of the Cloud Accounting Podcast was recorded in person at Xerocon in New Orleans in August of 2022. To learn more about Xerocon, visit xerocon.com. That's Xerocon.com. And now, on to the episode. Welcome to a special episode of the Cloud Accounting Podcast. We are coming to you from New Orleans at Xerocon. I'm Blake Oliver.
I'm David Leary, and it stopped raining again, but it could rain before the interview's over. It's hit and miss if you listen to these episodes. But we have another guest. You know how it is, Blake. I like to see, we go to these conferences, and I'm like, I don't know that person.
Let's talk to them.
Let's talk to them.
Let's see if they'll be on our
podcast.
Random accounting podcast.
So one of the accountants that Xero had on stage today this morning was Miguel Otchere-Marshall. Did I say your last name right?
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
Good. And he has his firm Nelopy. Did I say that right?
Nelopy.
Nelopy. Oh,
Nelopy.
Horrible. We can edit that and fix it maybe.
No,
or maybe
we're good.
not.
We're
maybe
good.
not. So why were you on stage at Xero? Like, how'd you get here? Like, what's the story? Why'd you even start an accounting firm? Like, we don't know about you. And actually, before that, let's preference. This is his first podcast. Blake.
Yes. And I'm a huge podcast fan. So being on, having this experience is pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So glad we can have you.
And I was at the event yesterday. You guys are quite the celebrities, I will say.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you just give out free T-shirts and stickers, people will come close to you.
Yeah. It was cool to see.
Well,
so
tell us about your journey getting here.
Yeah. So, how far we want to go back?
Well,
when people told you didn't have any experience.
Yes. Okay.
Start there.
Okay. So, I went through the corporate shuffle, as they call it.
where did you study accounting?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to Hofstra University in Long Island. I got my bachelor's in accounting in 2010. And, did the work in New York City, worked at a couple firms, worked at a couple small businesses, was a bookkeeper, etc. And I was kind of trying to go in the public space, the Big Four space, but I kept getting the same response, which was, you have no experience. You have no experience. You have no experience. So at some point, this is a real crazy story, right? Walking into work one day, I don't know if you guys know who Nipsey Hussle is. He's an entertainer who passed away. Rest in peace. So I was listening to his album. It was a real motivational album, right? I'm walking into work, taking a train from New Jersey to Grand Central Station in New York. And I'm listening to this album, and he has this message, and I feel like he's speaking to me directly, right? And I literally walked into my boss's office that day and said, I think I'm done. I know I'm doing this the wrong way. I didn't give it 2 weeks, but I think I'm good here. And one of the things she said to me was, you shouldn't do it this way because you're going to need references one day. And my response to her was, where I'm going, I don't think I will. And I've been on my own since then. That was 2018.
So then you quit work, and then you're like, I'm going to start a accounting and bookkeeping firm.
Yes.
Or was that the next step?
I was doing taxes at the time,
Okay.
but like neighborhood type of operation. Friends, family, aunt, uncle. So, I had a good book of business, maybe 100 clients. So I was making some good money, but it was on the side. And, I had about maybe $17,000 saved at the time. And I was like, I'm going to turn what I have, these 100 clients, into something that can be maybe a monthly retainer type of model. So I worked on that. And then that's where Xero came into play. Right around 2018, doing research. I researched a whole bunch of different softwares, and I wanted to target the younger entrepreneur, right? The younger business owner who works from their phone, works from their tablet, works from their iPad, it's on the go, right? Once thing ease, the generation of Uber and Lyft, right? We're not hailing taxis down. We're
They don't have desktop computers.
Right. We don't even know what that is. So I was targeting that entrepreneur. And when I did research on QuickBooks, it just wasn't the feel that I wanted, right? Nothing against QuickBooks, but it just wasn't the feel that I was looking for to offer to my clientele. And then, just doing research, Xero just popped out of nowhere. I don't think at the time they were as big as they are now, especially in the States. And did research, loved the capabilities that it had, loved the look, loved the feel, loved the app store. And I'm like, I can really be in a space where I can introduce technology to the small business space, right? It's more than just providing financial statements, right? It's kind of making life as an entrepreneur that much easier. So that's what I take pride in, that technology piece.
And you're serving clients everywhere, but you're in Atlanta.
Yeah. Predominantly Atlanta.
Okay.
30 clients now, but predominantly Atlanta. But it's all over the place.
And tell me about your clients. Like who you mentioned these are entrepreneurs who are on the go.
Correct.
Like what kind of entrepreneurs are we talking about?
Anywhere from where I'm really big in Atlanta is the hospitality space. So I have a lot of, Atlanta is really known for their, hospitality, restaurants, nightclubs, hookah lounges, etc. So I would probably say 40 to 50% of my clientele comes from that space. So, and then, there's actually someone who is a trading card company. I have a marketing company. Who else? I have promoters who are in that nightclub space. They have their own side separate companies. I have doctor's offices, private doctor offices. One is a mobile doctor's office located in Atlanta. I have a art gallery. So it really ranges, but it's a lot in the hospitality space.
A lot of variety there.
Yeah, a lot of variety.
That to me, when I had my firm and I was doing bookkeeping, like that's what kept me going. Was I was always learning about new businesses.
It's the fun part. The fun part is the small business part, right? Accounting is not that thrilling, right? As we know, but like learning these new industries and the intricacies of these new industries, I think that's where, that's really what I love. I love business. I love small business.
And you mentioned that you have an app stack that you like to use. You named some of them in the keynote. What are the apps that you use for this? These hospitality clients. Like, what are you a fan of?
Bill.com is a lifesaver. So when you really don't take into consideration how many people don't use technology for their businesses, right? So I'll go into a hospitality venue and they're still doing checks. So we know all the things that can happen with checks. The signature is not right. It bounced back. The person's bank is, whatever. So when I bring Bill.com to the table, it really, really, really structures their cash flow. Because with a check, you have no clue when this person's going to cash it. So this person could literally hold 2-3 checks for a couple weeks and then go and cash the check, and then you're not even expecting that. Where when in Bill.com, I use Slack as a support system. So what I do is for the week, if we're paying everything through Bill.com, I'll send a snapshot of what's going out for this week, so they know. All right, 28,000 is coming out. Send the 28,000 out. So it's kind of a better manage of cash flow. Like, all right, so what's left is ours to do what we need to do, not expecting someone to. So, Bill.com is definitely a huge, that's probably number one.
Well, so what you said there is something that I agree with. I think a lot of business owners, they manage their money based on the balance in their bank account.
Yep.
And so by not having checks floating, you're actually helping them. Like some people would make the argument, oh, you're better off having checks out there because you can have more money in the bank and get the float a few days. But I feel like it's not worth it.
No.
It's too confusing.
The surprise of,
I forgot I had that check. I didn't get cashed yet.
Yeah, exactly. You wrote a check, you forgot about it.
Exactly.
And then suddenly somebody cashes it.
And if you have a staff of 40 people,
Yeah.
you're not tracking everybody's check coming out, So, and there are some people who save their checks.
No.
It's interesting because I made a note on this because I wanted you to elaborate, but I think you just did and answered this for me already now. But You made a comment that how using Xero and ADP and Bill.com and Stripe, these apps, that actually lets you do advisory work. But I think I've just now heard you. It's really what you're doing is you're just stabilizing their cash flow, and indirectly you're doing advisory, and that throws that trust on you more.
For sure. I think that bettering someone's business allows them to trust you, right? A lot of what we do is trust. You're letting me into your accounts. You're letting me into, so it really starts at that piece, right? Bill pay, invoicing, just really structuring and building processes around technology, right? And then that allows, for like there's a club or a nightlife venue in Atlanta who we are now structuring a $1.2 million investment into their club. And that came from that structure that I offered, initially. And they really kind of brought me in really closely very quickly.
I love how you're framing this, because I do feel like the message is always out there, like use apps so you have time. It'll save you time so you can do advisory. And you're saying, no, use apps to prove you know what the hell you're talking about.
Exactly.
And then they'll trust you to do advisory.
Exactly.
So it's a complete reframe. Like nobody's really ever said it that way. And I've listened to lots of people yammer about being an advisor. So,
well, you're using Slack with your clients.
Absolutely. And
to me, what better way to be more in touch with your clients day to day than chatting with them?
Exactly.
They don't want to send you an email.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's on their phone.
Exactly. It's like you're texting me.
Right.
And then we can have whoever your top level people are at your company all in one Slack channel and, kind of handle business, exchange documents or whatever have you.
Now, does that get overwhelming for you? You said you have 30 clients.
Yeah.
So I know from my personal experience, that was my breaking point.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep tabs on more than that. So
I think it will get there, but right now, depending on what level of service you need, comes with the Slack channel. So not all 30 have the Slack channel. Some are kind of beginner sole prop companies, one person LLCs who really don't need that. They just want their monthly meeting and they want their financials.
Right.
They're not doing any bill pay. They're not paying anybody, so they don't really need that level of communication. But the people who do, so to answer your question, it can get there, right? As 40, 50, 60, as this thing really grows. And then that's where, a team kind of comes into place, which is my next goal, is kind of getting people to, now you have a support specialist who's just in Slack, just answering these individuals and, routing whatever request that they have to the prospective bookkeepers, and then just building that process that way.
Is it nice? Are the perks of having nightlife clients? Are they good?
It's very, yes. So I'm the person when a friend comes to Atlanta, I'm the first call because they're always taken care of.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I happened to run into your former partner manager or account manager. What do they call them at Xero? Your account rep, your account manager, partner manager. I'm making these numbers up.
PR?
But I happened to have a drink with her last night, and she was telling me about like kind of discovering you. And so I was just wondering, like, how is, obviously you've used Xero, the software, but how has Xero as a partner helped you on this journey you've taken?
Oh, tremendously. I attribute, a good portion of my growth to Xero embracing me as a person and me as a business, right? So when my website was created, Xero provided marketing dollars for that, right? A lot of the things that I learned about the software were from the certifications. So, just having that person that you could just shoot an email, shoot a call, schedule a meeting, to kind of walk you through these intricacies of the system, and then invest in you in ways of me even being here and being a speaker.
And being on the Cloud Accounting
Podcast, right? So it goes from the smallest of details to now, being on my first podcast, they've helped me tremendously, for sure.
So it sounds like you have plans to grow. What's your dream?
That's a good question. My first goal is 100 clients. I'm taking it step by step. My first goal is to get to 100 clients. I know what that looks like financially. I know what that mapped out looks like. I know what type of lifestyle I can live. So that's my first goal is 100 clients. I do want to get into tech eventually, which is why. So my company was called VP Marshall at first, right? I changed it to, so that's my mother's full name, Varnell Penelope Marshall.
And thus Nelopy.
And now Nelopy
For Penelope.
comes from Penelope.
Okay.
Right. So I wanted a more catchy and softer name because VP Marshall at the time sounded like, some CPA firm or something just super serious in New York or something like that. Marshall and Marshall, you know how they do, associates or whatever. So I changed it to Nelopy because I got really into accounting tech. I got really, really into business tech, small business tech. So, that's another goal of mine down the line as my client base grows to 200, 300, because that's definitely a goal, is to get to the hundreds and the thousands, et cetera. And then I haven't really figured it out yet. I have a couple of things on my board, but I want to invest in technology to kind of, just even do what Xero's doing, just making small business owners' lives easier.
So you want to build technology for them?
For Xero?
Well, for your clients.
For the clients, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So Nelopy, using that name was with that in mind, just kind of having that techie feel to the company, which is why I was so intrigued by Xero, is because they had that feel. Yeah.
One thing that I thought was interesting, because you were on stage and one of your clients was on stage with you, and she made a comment that because you know all the nooks and crannies of Xero, that it's easier for her to believe you and know that they should trust you because you know the details. And I thought that was just a kind of a really strong statement.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. I think being a subject matter expert has its trust factors. If you go to a doctor and he tells you tore your ACL, you believe that the doctor, that you tore your ACL. Like, you don't think he's kind of gaming you here. So I think it's kind of the same thing for, knowing software. People hire people just for their knowledge of software all the time. So like one of the things that a legacy system, are you guys familiar with Dynamics?
Microsoft?
Yeah, Microsoft Dynamics.
Yep.
Yeah. So I worked at a place in the city, a marketing firm in the city, because I knew Microsoft Dynamics, right? So it's kind of one of those things where, that's being a subject matter expert, doctor, lawyer, accountant, just kind of gives the client that comfort. Like, this person is telling me, like, she wanted a CRM, and we went in a Xero app store and we went through all the different apps that they have, all the different CRMs they have, and we landed on HubSpot. And I told her the benefits of HubSpot and why you should get HubSpot and why this will grow your business. And she just trusted it, because there were other levels of trust.
Yeah. And that's true advisory work right there.
Exactly.
Connected to apps, helping somebody build a back office, not even back office, CRMs, like customer facing stuff. So
exactly. Yeah. And now she's in love with it. It's an everyday use for her now, so.
I'm a big HubSpot nerd. I used it for years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we had my firm, we used HubSpot as our website, our CRM, all that.
So do you guys have guests ask you questions?
Go ahead if you like, please.
Yeah, let's dig in. So
turn the tables.
Yeah. Let's turn this around. Everyone's readjusting seats.
Here we go.
So Blake, you mentioned a couple times your company, and I'm sure your listeners kind of know the backstory, but I would love to hear that.
Well, it was kind of similar to you in that. So I was a musician.
Okay.
And I couldn't get a job after I graduated. Great Recession. And so
when was this?
This was in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started freelancing.
Oh, that was like the recession of recessions.
The recessions of recessions, the greatest one, yes. Couldn't get work, and so I started bookkeeping and tutoring, and that's how I got into accounting. And doing a lot of, I ended up getting into a lot of what you're doing, right? Helping clients with, their reconciliations, their bill pay, their payroll, just helping it all. Doing what an in-house bookkeeper would do, but from anywhere. Yeah. So it's I love I'm looking at your website. I love what you're doing because I love how simple it is, the way you present it to them, right? And that I always felt that was my advantage, was somebody could come and they could see, oh, very simple, here's the price, I'm going to sign up.
Yeah.
And there's so much potential.
Yeah, no, it's that was definitely, I'm glad you say that, because that was a real big sticking point. Because again, my target audience is first time business, business with 1 or 2 employees, 3 employees, 5 employees. So, if you overword them, they're just like, and even just overpricing them, it's just like, I don't really understand the investment yet here. So it's hard to so if you really have a nice soft entry price, and we can build up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We will flip it to the left.
You can ask David a question?
Yes, David. So we spoke a little last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the Cloud Accounting podcast were celebrities at this bar that we were at last night for his ignition event. So what was your introduction, and then what kind of led, I'm kind of trying to circle it to what led this Arizona Union.
I mean, I went to school and was not a good student, but took a lot of, accounting classes and a lot of tech classes. And I fell into a job. Actually, I used to work at the mall selling software when it was in boxes. And
Were you at Babbage's?
Babbage's, yes. And
This is in Arizona?
No, it was nationwide.
Oh, okay.
It was like physical box software. And I actually remember selling Peachtree off the shelves, which is really now Sage 100 or whatever it is.
You were in a Tucson mall.
Well, I was in malls in Phoenix too.
Oh, in Phoenix.
Yeah,
Okay.
Phoenix and Tucson, different malls. And I remember when Quicken used to be into its first product, and they're selling Quicken to everybody. Then people started using Quicken for their businesses, and then QuickBooks released their first version of QuickBooks DOS 1.0. And right around that time, Best Buy came to market, and Best Buy just started selling everything like $1 above cost, and it just companies like Babbage's and Software Etc. and Chargeable Boutique, all those in the mall software stores, all basically went under. So they declared bankruptcy. I literally had like a can of beans and something else. And I was like, well, it's not going to hurt to have Intuit on the resume. And I got a job doing tech support for QuickBooks. So I spent the next 22 years at QuickBooks.
Wow.
And then Blake and I crossed paths at Expensify's event in 2016. We're like, we should do a podcast together. And then April of 2018, we did a podcast together. It's been the same since.
We've been doing it for 4 years.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blake is a CPA, came up through the Xero world, and I'm more of the tech guy that came up through the QuickBooks world. So it's a pretty good match.
Wow.
And I make David do the bookkeeping in Xero.
I do, yes. So we use Xero for the Cloud Accounting podcast.
You do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You like it?
He actually enjoys
It's fine. I can get by. Yeah. I can actually have both open at the same time. And I can
think
bounce
that
around.
is really a good thing to point out about Xero. You don't have to be an accountant to really understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
But even if you have 20 years of looking at QuickBooks, you can just jump in and still do it.
That
it's
helps.
Not,
that
it's
definitely
not,
helps.
Like, it's not going to make you go blind. You can do it.
But people in our profession do really have a resistance to learning new tech.
It's very true.
I mean, even I don't think Hector would mind if I said this, but Dave and I were having a chat with Hector Garcia, who's like the expert at QuickBooks and has a very popular YouTube channel. And his reason for not wanting to like do anything other than QuickBooks is basically, I don't want to learn new software. But that's like most accountants don't want to learn new software.
Right.
I think, David, you found a post, somebody asked their accountant about.
Oh, this is crazy. I
Was it
posted it
Twitter?
on Twitter and LinkedIn. It was because with the podcast each week we record the news and you have these news feeds and we plow through 1,000 articles and there's this post on a bulletin board. I don't even know what service this is, but some guy was like, "Hey, QuickBooks Desktop," and apparently he's using QuickBooks Desktop 2011.
Oh my God.
And he was complaining that the PC was so slow.
Oh my
It took
God.
forever to do anything. And then he said, and for the last 2 years, I physically carry the PC into my accountant's office so they could do things. And then at the very end of this post, as it goes on, he's like, "Do I need a new accountant?" It's like, yes.
Yes.
Like, how could you, how did the accountant enable this for this long?
Oh my God.
Like the risk of something going wrong, like when you're carrying that PC in the hard drive,
Yeah.
like in the car, it's just bananas. Like,
When did you see this?
this is this week. I posted on LinkedIn. It has like 15,000 views. It's on fire. It's one of my second biggest LinkedIn post ever.
Oh,
it's on
my
fire this week.
Gosh.
And I think it's because that's pretty common. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix
Don't
it
fix
is
it.
kind of
That's
the
broken.
attitude.
That's a definition of broken.
Well, I guess we have different definitions, right? Versus that accountant there.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
But those are not the clients you're going for.
But
no.
These young, hip tech people aren't using a desktop computer.
Correct.
So here's what's different between that person, that accountant, and what you're doing is you're building this from the client perspective.
Correct.
You're thinking about how do I. You said at the beginning something about like you picked Xero because it's something your clients would
Correct.
like the vibe
Correct.
would work, right? And this is the opposite of that. This is I'm going to have my client use this software because it's convenient for me.
Correct.
And they can bring it physically into my office, right? And that's the difference. We talk about this a lot on the show, David. Customer experience is such an opportunity for us.
Yeah. And what that accountant will know is once their client sees something different, that is more like, wait, what do you mean? I don't have to leave my home for us to, it's gonna probably more than less be a termination of their, relationship.
Oh, on that note, like more broadly, what do you think about the future of accounting and our profession?
I think that's a really good question.
Like, where do you think?
I think I said this on the stage earlier. The accounting industry for the companies in accounting, we all offer the very similar services, more so. So we're not reinventing the wheel. Where I think the industry is going is where advisory and tech clash, right? So it's that convenience. It's Uber, it's Lyft, it's DoorDash, it's Uber Eats. Accounting can really intersect in that way where we're bringing technology to small business owners, right? Being the subject matter experts in that said technology and advising them based on the technology in how to run their business more effectively.
So you're saying when you say Uber Eats, DoorDash, you're talking about making it that easy for them.
Convenience.
Okay.
I don't want to leave my house, and that's where really COVID kind of really gave me that shift, right? How can this whole operation, that's where Slack was kind of used and Calendly and, all these different apps that just say, it's not, hey, when are you free? I'm free at 4. I'm free at 3. Oh, no, I'm not good for 3. Can you do 3? That's 6 emails when I could just send you a link and you can just pick whatever time works for you that's available. So it's really just about making the experience like Amazon. We all love Amazon. Amazon, you order it, you get the product. If you have a problem, you can contact support. Support will get you, either a refund or send you something new or give you instructions on getting it back. It's convenience. That's where people are. So that's where I see the accounting industry kind of flowing.
And it's customer focused, ultimately.
Customer focused.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Miguel, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you guys. This is my first accounting experience. This was awesome.
So now a bunch of people are going to want you on their podcast. So how do people get a hold of you and find you?
Okay, so I'm not the biggest social media guru, but I do have Instagram, CEO Mickey Marshall. That's my nickname. And I'm on LinkedIn, Miguel Otchere, Otchere-Marshall. My email, miguel.marshall@nelopy.com. Reach out. I'm open to talk. I'm open to getting to know people. And I'm also open to hearing what ideas other people have,
We're going to have to get you onto Twitter.
Yes, I do.
This
conference kind of told me I need to kind of get it together on the social side. Maybe get a TikTok or something.
This is great. Thanks so much for joining us. This is
No
a great
problem.
conversation.
Thanks,
and I really enjoyed your unique and new perspective on things.
Thanks,
Very
guys.
eye-opening.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.